just broke the cork off.
Oh, that's puke. Ugh.
Okay. I don't know what to do. Maybe I'm just sensing some umami on this. Because, ooh, mama, that's good. I still haven't found my first Blanton's. Hey, everybody. Better late than never. I'll figure this Sunday night thing out eventually. So, like, the last, month has been me trying to get back to doing the Bourbcast at the same time all the time. But Sunday is just not working because there's always something that comes up. I might have to travel out of town like I did a few weeks ago, or do this thing. Or today, my buddy calls me and says, "Hey, will you help me change the serpentine belt on my car?" Sure. Calls me at 4:30. You'd think that 3 hours would be enough to change the serpentine belt. No. I have found that my friends promise me that it's going to be X amount of time to do something. You know how I'm going to end that sentence. This is the Luxro 4-grain. They made a 12-year that was a 4-grain. I guess it was very, very popular. And it was sold distillery only and may still be. Basically what they wanted to do was they wanted to make it more accessible to other markets. So they created a 4-year version of it. So it's a 4-year wheat bourbon and a 4-year rye bourbon that comes together. It's MGP, because Luxro, MGP, same company. And Squibb, Ross Squibb, all those, same thing. Hey, Annette is watching. Hi. Where was I? That threw me off. So it's a wheated bourbon and a rye bourbon, and so each one of those is a single barrel. So the rye bourbon is a single barrel, the wheat bourbon is a single barrel, and they smash them together, and they call that a double single barrel. And it's a 4-grain. Sells for $50. Not horrible in the state of Ohio. Other places it may sell for more, but here it's $50. I can't tell you I love the bottle. The bottle is inspired after the 12-year, but one of the things, I don't know, just bugs me, is they got this big cave. Look at, I mean, it's like all the way up to the knuckle. Even more. Almost up to the second knuckle. I mean, that's bottle they could have put bourbon in, but they didn't finish the bottle. It's like this big dome in the middle of it. I don't know what they're thinking. Anyway. Hey, Kevin's watching. Kevin, how are you, man? You missed a great church service today, I'll tell you what. I'm going to have to start dragging you back in there again. It was good. Anyway, okay, so what else do we have to tell you about this? Founded in St. Louis in 1958 by the Lux family, Luxco is a leading producer, supplier, importer, and bottler of beverage alcohol products. Our mission is to meet the needs of whatever. Merged with MGP in 2021. They operate as MGP and Ross Squibb and all those different... I already said that. So really, this is 115 proof. The only thing I haven't told you yet is when it ships out to the liquor stores, it's not like a normal box where you have like 12 in a case. No. They send out 6 in a case. So we're going to make it more accessible, but we're only going to give you 6. Or they're going to load you up with a whole bunch of bottles. So, I was talking to the guy that owns the liquor store the other day, and he says he's got, what was it? There was one that he said that he had cases and cases and cases of. Oh, it was the Angel's Envy single barrel. People aren't buying it. I mean, it's a single barrel. It's going to be a higher proof, but it's Angel's Envy. Still only probably a 4-year for a single barrel, but it's over $100 and people aren't buying it. So I've been trying to tell you that I don't think that we're having a bourbon bubble pop, but I think maybe, because I was saying we're having a correction. And I still stand by that. I think we're having a market correction where during COVID, everybody went crazy and they were searching for every single bottle. That stuff didn't happen like it did during COVID, before COVID. You can still find E.H. Taylor on the shelf occasionally before COVID. And then things changed. And now I think we're experiencing a market correction. But instead of continuing to create massive amounts of alcohol and then selling at a lower price, distilleries are cutting back on what they produce, which is interesting because most of them just doubled or tripled production capability and storage capability, and now they're scaling back because they're not selling as much. I'm thinking, hey guys, make this stuff that is more like sought after, a lot more. Sell it for a reasonable price. Make sure it's on the shelf all the time, and you don't need the frenzy. People will buy it just because they really like it, and they really want it. The aforementioned E.H. Taylor being one of those products that people just can't seem to get enough of. Maybe it's because it's scarce. Maybe it's just because it's good. I don't know, just a thought. All right, let's get into this. I have done my soliloquy. I got done working on that car. I had grease everywhere. I still do a little bit, but I had some right. It's funny. And then we went into the house to clean our hands, and boy, we should have probably done it outside with the hose. I'm just saying. All right, so I was outside. Pollen is flying like big time. I can feel everything is plugged up. I don't know that I'm going to being able to give you great nose, but I'm going to see what I can do. Who we got? Luke is watching. Hey, Luke. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're staying safe. All right. Okay. Now it's fresh crack. Just pulled the plastic off of this bite, so it's a little astringent. And that's going through my plugged up schnoz. However, the caramels and the cinnamons are beautiful. Spicy. That rice spice is coming through. I don't know the mash bill. It's undisclosed, so I can't tell you the percentages of each. The wheated whiskey is going to soften it, but the rye whiskey, depending on the percentage, is going to heat it up a little bit. 115 proof, too. Maybe this will just clean out everything that I need to have cleaned out. We'll find out. Yeah, the caramel, if you have a degree. But the caramels are coming through real strong. I was going to say there's a black cherry note. Whew, whew. Oh, that one got me. Vanillas? Vanilla's not something I pull out as easily anymore, but this one it's pretty present. And I do have quite a bit of oak on this. Quite a bit. That could be where that astringency is coming from, is oak off the barrel. All right, here we go. That's nice. Oh, that feels good on the mouth. That is nice. Oh. The last few pours have been a little watery. This one is very nice. The bloom, which is that with that burn on your tongue, starts at the tip and moves its way back, spreads its way out. Beautiful bloom. Textbook bloom. Gorgeous. A little bit, it's got a nice viscosity to it. I'd say it's probably somewhere between silky and buttery. Very, very nice. And it doesn't feel like 115 proof when you're sipping on it, After it goes down the gullet, yeah, it gives you a little bit of a punch, but not back there, up here. It's like you finally open your mouth and there's air in there, and it's like, oh, yeah, okay, there's some warmth. But now, the finish is very, very interesting, and I'm having trouble articulating it. But let's get into flavors first. I'm not going to muck around with the finish just yet because, again, this is going to be open for a couple of minutes. By the time I get to the bottom of this glass, I'll be able to give you better finish notes because those change just as much as everything else. The nose may change, the palate may change, the finish may change just because it's been open for a few minutes. And a lot of times I won't even touch one of these things, a glass of bourbon, until it's been open for a half hour. I won't even touch it because I want it to be relaxed. I want it to open up on its own and not be that fresh crack out of the bottle. Let it express itself. It's no different than if you're drinking wine and you want to let it air out. You know, you spin it, and some people put it through an aerator. Same thing. All right. Okay. So, again, it's already changed. Just a little bit. The first sip that I got seemed a little bit woody. This one, again, my palate is primed now, bringing out some beautiful flavors. I normally don't like a 4-grain. It was very, very hard for me to buy this bottle. But I think I like this one. The Penelope they have a 4-grain. It's an 80 proof, and just yeah. I just did not like that one. I wanted to. It's Penelope. People love Penelope. Their 4-grain 80 proof is no bueno. This is much, much better. And there was a Bardstown that had a 4-grain a while back, and I didn't love it either. I tend to be very, very harsh on the 4-grains, but this is beautifully blended. Very, very nice. All right, so tasting notes. Beautiful blend of that black cherry and that oak. Excuse me. Cinnamons, caramels, vanillas, a little touch of honey, just a touch of honey. A bit of honey, if you will. If you remember those candy bars. Those were some of my favorites. I love bit of honey. I miss bit of honey. I may find a bunch of bit of honey for Halloween and then keep it all to myself. Spirit of Halloween. Gorge yourself and promise you're going to give it to somebody else and don't. Halloween's supposed to be, you know, like the evil time of the year, right? So that's a great time to lie. It's a great time to deceive. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And the finish did change. So the finish was a little bit tannic. It's not anymore. Now that I've had a chance to get used to it. That oak and that black cherry hang on. It's not sweet. Definitely not sweet on the finish. It's sweeter on the palate. Tends to get less sweet on the finish, but it's a finish I actually rather like. There's some finishes that get woody and get more tannic that I don't like. It doesn't sit very well. This one I do. I don't love it. I like it. There's a big difference there. And this is not presenting itself as 115 proof, except just a slight little bit of numbness right in here. In other words, I'm not eating soup later. Just pour it out. All right, one more. Those caramels, those cinnamons, those honeys, front and center, along with that oak and that black cherry. Just actually, I really like this pour. I'm not going to tell you that it's my favorite thing ever, but it's got some nice complexity, which is good. You know, I like my complexity. And to me, it doesn't drink like 115 proof. Maybe, yeah, I suppose, I don't know. I'm such a proof dog. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it does drink like 115 proof. But I'm so used to it. I mean, I've got one that I need to open. It's 140 proof. All right. Kevin talking to me. Oh, glasses, so I can read Kevin's words. I have that bottle somewhere. I believe it sounds like a good one. I really like it. I know you're not quite the same as into the ryes as I am. And I don't know, if I had to guess, I would tell you that this, no, I do know, because it was a 4-year rye and a 4-year wheat. The Smoke Wagon Small Batch uses a young rye and then older of everything else. And I think that presents well for that particular bottle because I think the younger rye didn't allow itself to get tannic. 4 years isn't long enough to cause a problem. But putting the two together, both of them at 4 years, I don't know. Just makes you wonder what would happen if they would have taken a 4-year rye and mixed it with like a 6-year wheat. But it is a bourbon, so that means it's at least 51% corn. We know that. What the rest of the mash bill is anybody's guess. And you know that they're not going to ever do a bottle that's going to taste the same because it is 2 single barrels coming together as a double barrel. So yeah, it's a blend, but they're single barrels that come together, which, I mean, no 2 single barrels ever taste alike. So maybe I just got super lucky. Let's go 2 drops. There's some other information on this bottle. Let's see here. Well, oh, there it is down there. Put the cork on so don't spill it. Barrel number 295829. That's the wheated. Rye barrel is 308750. This was filled on October 1st, 2019. So, I mean, what is that? 6 years ago? And the wheated was filled October 1st of 2019. The rye was filled, that's when they put the distillate in the barrel to rest for 4 years. That happened in, it's hard to read. It's either March or May 5th of 2020. So they say it's a 4-year, but indeed that rye is not as old as the wheat. So it's at least a 4-year. Let's put it that way. It could be more than a 4-year, but they're calling it that for marketing purposes. Hey, Paul's watching. Hey, Paul. Finger stir is coming. I promise. All right, so this is the Luxro 4-grain double single barrel with 2 drops of water on it. Toned down the oak and brought out some citrus. First thing I got on the palate was a little orange. I love it when that happens. I do. I mean, I'm always impressed if nothing happens other than it gets bigger, right? But when it allows other flavors to peek out, that's exciting. I know. This is really exciting, Casey. It's just booze. Come on. Live a little. That's nice. That orange just is holding on. All those other flavors are still there, although the honey kind of went away a little bit. Just 2 drops. It doesn't take much. I watch these guys do their scotch tastings, and they're like pouring water in. It's like, gah! You don't really need that much. Shoo-wee. Yeah, I said shoo-wee. All right. flavor is evolving. I got a little apple that time. That's something I get very often. Sometimes you have to go with what you first experience when it crosses your tongue. And sometimes it can be different as it grows and as it ages outside the bottle, as it sits there and breathes a little bit, that allows for different flavors to come around. It's exciting to just let it happen. Don't go with any preconceived notions. Just let the whiskey speak to you and tell you what it wants to tell you. I got orange a minute ago. Now I've got some apple. That 4 grain is allowing me a level of complexity that I did not expect to experience. And I love it every time I take a sip and I get something different. It's not like the overall character is changing. It's just that there are elements of it that evolve on my palate, and as my palate adjusts to it, and as this sits a little bit longer, and as the water interacts with it, little things happen. Sometimes with different whiskeys they don't. This one, it is. And this comes to not having any whiskey for a few days. So you'd think that my palate is, plus pollen in the air, you think that my palate is a little off, but I'm picking up some really nice stuff out of this, which tell me I'm probably all right. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Chuck is watching. Hey, Chuck. Paul says, getting ready to leave for work. Yes. Sorry to get this so late. I hope we can get it all in before you have to take off. Need to train my buds, my taste buds. So far, so good, man. This is, I don't know, Bourbcast 280 something, I think. So I think they've been trained quite nicely. They've been whipped into submission. Whoopsh. Somebody else is talking. Hey. Well. Okay, so let's get back to this and then we're going to put it on ice. Got that little bug. Like a teeny tiny little fly. Try to fly in my ear. Got the whole room here they can fly around. In safety. But no. Has to go for my ear. And now he's dead. Serves you right. Okay, alright. So anyway. Mouthfeel with a little water. This is such an interesting phenomenon, and I haven't figured it out yet. But the bloom got heavier. That burn came back after my palate was already used to it. As a matter of fact, that sip I just had was the second sip on the water, and I still have some of that bloom on my tongue right now. I could feel that burn. It feels like now it's 115 proof, whereas before, it was okay. It seemed maybe a little under, but yeah. That bloom came back. The mouthfeel got just that much more buttery. Really kind of nice. Really nice. I am surprised I like this bottle this much, although I did like the Rossville Union very, very much. I've had a couple different ones. I had a barrel strength of that, and OHLQ came out with a special state barrel a number of years ago. I've always liked Rossville Union a lot, and I don't see it enough. I don't think it's out there a lot. Remus, yeah, sometimes I like it and sometimes I don't. But this one I really do enjoy. All right. Getting back to the actual gorgeous ice sphere. This is a fresh, brand new ice sphere that's probably been in my freezer for like 4 or 5 weeks now because I just didn't get anything out. But isn't that gorgeous? You know, it seems to me like there's a very beautiful song that has something to do with that. I will never get tired of that. Oh, never's a long time. Maybe I will, and that'll just make a new one. All right, so ice. Let's talk about ice. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about with the ice, let me tell you about it, eh? Ice does a couple things. A small cube will dilute the drink. This is a large ice sphere. It is a clear ice sphere. It tends to dilute more slowly. There's less surface area to affect the whiskey because it's one big ice sphere. If you had like 6 or 10 small ice cubes, that's a lot of surface area. It'll melt faster, and it tends to affect the whiskey more. A large ice sphere or cube has less surface area and therefore affects your whiskey a lot less. It will also cool down your drink. The downside to cooling down the drink, and there are people who disagree with me, but it is what it is, it does tend to mute the flavor. Yes, it mutes the heat, which is why some people like having ice on their drink. Other people just like a cold drink, and I totally understand that. That's the way I drink my vodka and my gin. But with whiskey, I tend to like it room temperature. Maybe just a slight bit cooler than room temperature, but not very much. The ice sphere will cool it down, but it will mute some of those flavors. That's why I always taste neat, because I want to be able to find everything it has to offer. Whereas when it is cooled down, my personal experience is that I'm able to pull less out of it. Maybe that's because it actually helps emulsify all those different flavors into one big experience instead of this experience and the thing I'm tasting and this thing I'm tasting. I don't know. I'm not a fan of bourbon on ice, but I do the taste test just to see how well the bourbon holds up when you do put it on ice. And there's your finger stir, Paul. There it is. Something he and I invented together. Chuck is saying the experience changes throughout the pour. It does. It does. It's one of those pours. It just changes all the way through. And that's what I think I really like about it, despite the fact that it's just tasty. It's just really good. Always start neat. Yes, Chuck. Always start neat. I agree with you. You want to get the essence of that. Now, some people will go backwards. They'll start it off with ice cubes first because, they want to prime their palate in a different way, and then they'll go to water, and then they'll go to neat. Do it the way you want to do it, honestly. I mean, whatever makes you happy, whatever helps you enjoy the whiskey a little bit more, is however you want to do it. It's fine. That's what we are trained to tell you when we become executive bourbon stewards is however you like the spirit, drink the spirit that way. I happen to like it neat most of the time. There are a few that I have thought got a little bit better on water. This one, the viscosity got a little bit better and it opened up nicely, but it's only been open for 5 minutes, right? So who knows what this is going to be like in a month without me adding any water to it. But now we've got ice on it, so let's do it. It changed. It got salty. That's so different. Predominantly salt. That hit me hard as salt. Wow. Not so salty like, seawater or something like that. But you know how sometimes when you're cooking and you add a little salt and it's fine, and then you decide could use some depth. It could use something else. So you add a little more salt, and now it's not salty, but it's full, right? It's got a deeper flavor. Again, you got to be careful not to go too crazy, but sometimes adding just a little more salt will add a little more depth to the flavor. That's what this is kind of like, is that the salt is there and it's adding more depth to the flavor despite the fact that it's on ice and I could expect those flavors to be muted. Little butterscotch that came out, which is probably kind of like the caramel and the honey together, only it sweetened it up a lot. All that stuff that was tannic and hard oak is gone. And it definitely made it a lot sweeter and saltier. And again, to remind you, like we've got some new viewers tonight. I've been watching on the thing. You know, none of this is in the bourbon. There's no salt, there's no honey, there's no caramel, or caramel, if you have degree. There's no honey, there's none of that stuff is in it. This is all characteristics of the barrel, and it does change as you change what you're drinking. So as I taste things, there are things, it's not that it's in there, it just reminds me of that. Some things on the palate that remind you of it. And that's what this is doing, and it's doing it quite nicely. For me, this is not one that I would use in a cocktail. Could it make a nice Manhattan? Yes. I think it would get lost in an old fashioned. Not lost in the way that you would lose that alcohol edge, but more lost that there are some flavors that are unique here that really have something to be said on their own without mixing them into something. If you like your drinks cold, this is a good one to drink cold. It's got some very interesting flavors that are different. Now the finish is reminiscent of when I first opened it. There's a little bit of that oak, little black cherry coming back. It's a little on the earthy side, not a lot. The sweetness is gone on the finish. This is a neat bottle. This is very complex. There's a lot to it. This is one, again, my group is going to get together again next Thursday. I will pull this out, let them try it for themselves, because I think they'll find this to be a very interesting bottle. And that's going to be, 4 days from now. So it will have rested and it will have changed inside the bottle due to oxidation, which is, that'll be fun. I'll want to try this again in a few days myself. So, all right, what are we doing next week? Well, I'll tell you. This is one I got told this morning that this is a bottle that was purchased for me a year ago this week. It's been sitting on my shelf for a year. And the person that was supposed to share it with me, who bought it for me, we just never got together. So next Sunday, we have pledged. We'll see how it goes, because Sundays, they go crazy. But next Sunday, she's going to come over, and we're going to share this bottle. This is Wyoming Parks number 4. Where's my spectacles? Just what it is. Is this a special pour or an everyday? It's not an everyday. I don't know how far I'd go into the special pour. It's good. It's one I think you want to share with people. I think this is one that you'd want to go, hey dude, you got to try this one, and you just take it easy on it so you have enough to share. Definitely not an everyday. Not at $50 especially. You can get it Rittenhouse, or you can get Old Granddad, or you can get a bunch of different whiskeys, good whiskeys, 100 proof whiskeys that you can drink every day and still enjoy. This has got a little more going on than that. And it's more expensive. So, if you're an everyday drinker, this will last you a week or two. So, I think it deserves more respect than that. But anyway, this one is Wyoming whiskey, National Parks number 4. Aged 5 years. It's 98 proof, straight bourbon whiskey, which means it's aged for at least 2 years. But this says 5 years, so okay, good. National Parks number 4, Mammoth Hot Springs, Yellowstone National Park. And we'll talk about this more next week. I don't want to get too far into it. Fair, thank you, Chuck. But again, the friend who bought this for me is going to stop by next Sunday. We're going to do the Bourbcast together, probably upstairs, and we'll try this one. I'll be honest, it seems gimmicky. I'm not expecting much, but it's aged 5 years, so maybe they're serious and maybe it's good. And she picked it up for me when she was in Wyoming, and I love Wyoming. I love Wyoming. Oh. There are certain states that are just amazing, and Wyoming is one of them. But I love Ohio too. Don't get me wrong, but Wyoming, it's big sky country, gorgeous. I remember when I was out there last time, it's been, 2010 I was out there. Sage fields. Like as far as the eye can see, you walk through them and you smell like sage. And that's what the bison eat. And the antelope. They love that stuff, and I don't blame them. But I digress. I do it a lot. It's fun. It's me. So Wyoming whiskey. Now, if something doesn't work out and she doesn't come over and we can't do this together, it'll be something different. It won't be this one because I am not opening this without her. She bought it for me. It was nice for her to think of me and give me this. We're gonna do this one together. So, all right. If you get a chance to pick this one up, the Lux Row Distillers 4 grain. It's a double single barrel. It's actually really, really good. It's not awesome, but it's really, really good. So I appreciate, stay open-minded. Right, yeah, you got to. It's aged 5 years. You know, they didn't age this 5 years just to have it go bleh. Oh, this is terrible. You don't spend... Did you see? There was a distillery, I can't tell you which one it was now. They had aged their stuff for 10 years, and what is said is somebody came along and stole it. They got the grain, they did the distillation, they put it all together, they put it in the barrels. It's been sitting there for 10 years, and some chucklehead comes along and steals it. Now, one of two things happened. Somebody stole it, and they're a chucklehead, and they deserve to go to federal prison. Or it was something else, and somebody else deserves to go to federal prison. But I'm trying not to go down that conspiracy highway because I hate that. The earth is flat. No, it is not. Shut up. Sorry. We are not political here. We try not to be political here. But conspiracy theories aside, 10 years of an investment of time and effort and money and grain and promises gone because somebody had sticky fingers. Unreal. Blows me away. Anyway, okay, that's all I have to say about that. Chucklehead, I'm offended. Chuck is offended at chucklehead. Well, there is another word that I have used. I don't use it necessarily outside of traffic. You would like that one even less, Chuck. I'm sorry. I got a friend of mine who has a trucking company, and she hates it when I say something like, I got hit by a 10-ton truck. She says, bus! Okay, it's a bus. All right, anyway, Wyoming whiskey coming next week. Sorry, Chuck. With my friend Dawn. It'll be fun, unless, of course, we don't do it, and then I'll come up with something else to do, which is fine. A friend of mine just got me the Old Forester single barrel, so I might be able to do that one. And I'm hitting all these different apps that I don't mean to hit because I'm trying to get out of this, and I can't see at all. Where is it? Oh my gosh. All right, okay, well. It's silly. All right, anyway, okay. Thank you for joining us tonight. No worries, he says. No worries. Thank you. I don't want to make you bad. By the way, there are a couple of places that you can go if you are in Northwest Ohio. We have a group, and Chuck, I want to thank you for pulling people into the group. You need to remind them that they have to answer all the questions and say, pledge their firstborn to me and do a couple of animal sacrifices. They do that and they can come right into the group. But if they don't do all that, then I say, nope, I gotta have the animal sacrifices. I am a hardcore carnivore, gotta have the goat. Give me the goat. I'm totally joking. Anyway, so that's a Northwest Ohio thing. Otherwise, again, thank you for watching. You could be doing anything else on a Sunday evening, and you're watching me talk about sacrificing and eating goats. We will see you next week. Thank you. Take care.